Tomad, Tomad, precious hearts and dearest souls. We bring ourselves here today through the seventh sense. Now, many of you have experienced the seventh sense in our other transmissions, and what we are trying to tell you here is that you have the possibility and the reality of putting yourselves anywhere you choose at any time you choose, because your pure consciousness is connected to all consciousness. It is your idea that you are just a mere human who is frail, who is vulnerable, who do not have the gifts, if you choose, to put yourselves wherever you like. Now, the most important thing you need to understand is you put yourselves here as well. You were not forced here into this dimension. You did not come here because you were sinners. You understand what we are saying? Because from the moment you were born, you were programmed with, as a human being, you are less than spirit. As a human being, you are flawed. As a human being, you are stupid. As a human being, you are separate. You see what we are saying? Nothing could be further from the truth. And that saying, the truth will set you free, is reality. And reality and truth is only one thing. Reality is love. Beginning and end of any story. It is not a story, it is reality. But from that point, you have felt yourselves separate from reality. You have made this your reality. You have made illusion reality. You have made the feeling of separation your reality. You have made sorrow your reality. You have made feeling powerless your reality. And you are all very clever at that. Pat yourselves on the back. You see how powerful you are? Now you need to turn your power around for yourselves. Now you need to actually surrender to the aspects of yourselves you believed did not exist within yourselves. Now this fifth element, because understand we have to give it some form of label or your minds will not listen to us. And the only problem any of you have is getting past the ideas in your mind, the fear in your mind, and the illusion of separation in your mind. So we've called it the fifth element. But in truth, if we were to talk elements, it is actually the first element. The first element that comes from pure consciousness is light. Now you think you can see light because you have a big ball of light in your sky. That's what you call light. But light is beyond what you can see. Light is pure consciousness. Light is the physical manifestation of pure consciousness. And scientists will show you there are many levels of light that cannot be seen by the human eye. But what we are talking about, the light we are talking about, is in fact the foundation of all of creation. That light is in you, that light is around you. Everything in this dimension is from that pure consciousness. Everything from this dimension has that pure consciousness within it. And from this pure consciousness, all planes of existence and other consciousnesses and dimensions are created from it. So that must tell you that you can have access to anything you choose. Now, here is the thing, brothers and sisters. Unless you can find the courage to surrender to this pure consciousness, you are going to find yourselves in dimensions and experiences that you truly do not deserve. You are in fact in them now. You are in a dimension that is filled with hatred, with fear, with violence, because the masses have refused to surrender to this pure consciousness, this divine intelligence that is within them, and that in fact you are in. Because pure consciousness is everywhere. Just because you cannot see it does not mean it does not exist. It is an aspect of light that cannot be seen by the human mind or, at this point, the human eyes, but it will. Because when you let this pure consciousness out through your cellular bodies, out through your biological bridges, you are going to start to awaken those natural gifts, even of the seventh sense. Now, for those who have not heard of this, the seventh sense is actually what we are doing now. The seventh sense is our consciousness has entered this dimension through a physical vehicle. You see what we are saying? Your consciousness can enter another dimension also through a physical vehicle in that dimension. You understand what we are saying? Your consciousness can also go into other dimensions and feel that dimension without even going into a physical being in that dimension. So what we are saying is, if you believed it, you could come into our dimension. Your consciousness could come into our dimension. Your consciousness could merge with mine, and you could be standing here giving teachings to the union of love and light and every being within it. You understand what we are saying? Because if we can do it this way, if we can come to you, you certainly can come to us. Now, the mind may be boggling at this, and the mind will throw up all sorts of fears of, what if I can't get back here? Well, you are already everywhere. You see what we are saying? The aspect, the human mind aspect of you is hanging on, going, we can't go into another dimension and jump into Min's consciousness and talk to every being there. Well, you can. And the only thing stopping you is your lack of belief in that. Now, we also understand that the mind will have fear of, what if I go mad? Because your mental institutions are full of people that say Jesus talks to them. And most of the time, Jesus does. It is this fear of expanding yourselves, but we tell you it is part of your evolution to expand yourselves. If you hold yourselves back, you make yourselves sick. It is very, very simple. Now, upon your planet at this present moment is an astrological event that is here as an invitation for you to open your consciousness in ways you have not done for hundreds of years. You do not have to take the invitation, but may we say it might be a little foolish not to. Because this pure consciousness, like everything else, is expanding itself, is expanding its awareness. And it wishes to expand its awareness through you. Now, nothing can go against your will, and that is fine. But every few thousand years in humans' evolution, there comes along this invitation. Now, the masses have refused this for thousands of years. And if anything, you are not evolving, you are simply revolving in the same fear, the same suffering, and the same illusion. And if you keep revolving like that, you are making a deeper groove within your mind, within your physical bodies that no one feels they can get out of. And have you not this past few months or even 18 months had your mind convince you that how do I get out of this? How do I get through my emotional body? How do I get out of the situations I have created in my world? It almost seems impossible because you have allowed yourselves to keep revolving round and round as if you have one foot nailed to the floor. Well, this event coming, and it is here in fact already, you are simply catching up with it, is an invitation to get yourself out of that deep groove of desperation and despair. To allow yourselves, and not just your mind and not just your consciousness, but your biological body, to receive energy like you have never received before. Now, some beings upon the planet, their consciousness is opening up. They are finally starting to realize that all of you have the birthright to be in direct connection with Source. Because if you were not, you could not exist. Again, mental institutions are filled with people who say they hear God's voice. Well, you should all be hearing God's voice by now. You understand what we are saying because you are an aspect of God. And this aspect that you have denied and pushed away, this is the pure consciousness of what we speak. You see what we are saying? You should all be feeling the divine current of love and its light every moment of every moment. And when you do, there will be spontaneous healings and what you have termed miracles. But a miracle should be an everyday event. A miracle should be how you live your lives. Because, let us put it this way, what is running your lives presently, and remember, we are talking of the majesty and the mystery and the magic of pure consciousness that you are actually in all of the time and is in you all of the time. But the two things running your world are death and taxes. No wonder you are all sick. You are running from your deaths, trying to be healthy, trying to be fit. You are all worried about your money. And here is the thing, money ends up killing you anyway. Death and taxes go hand in hand. You see what we are saying? Yes, and laugh, because it is stupid what you are doing. And we say this with love. You have such abundance and magic and mystery and majesty at your fingertips. And you are over here in the illusion of death, of taxes, of sex, of relationships, of sorrow, of abuse, of abandonment, and all the while you are in this pure consciousness. You understand what we are saying? No wonder you are all feeling a little bent out of shape. All right. We will put it a little simpler. When we taught Starlight and gifted her with the Diamond Light system, we based it on 10 aspects of yourselves. We based it on the most ancient knowledge, the most simple of knowledge, that again some of you have ignored. Now it is called, in your human way, the tree of life. And this tree of life has 10 spheres, or 10 fruits, shall we say. And these 10 fruits are your gifts, are the virtues of God itself, which perhaps you have been ignoring. Now the 5th diamond light, or the 5th element, the 5th gift, is your heart centers. This is where the 5th element radiates from, is your heart, because this is your divine intelligence. This is what you are all seeking, and what you are all seeking is right under your noses. Again, you have put yourselves out there looking for what has always been in here. Now, when you find it in here, it must appear outside of yourself. Because if you are radiating that pure consciousness of light, of love, well, that is what you are going to attract. We can't put it any simpler. You are the divine creator of everything in your world. Nobody else is, you are. Because you are God. And you are creating in every moment of every moment. But here is the thing. Do not judge what you are creating, because it is still divine. So, if you have been creating sorrow and despair and confusion and depression and doubt, still see that as an amazing creation and witness it and say to yourself, does this serve me still? And how does it serve you? It shows you where you have unplugged from that pure consciousness that is you. That depression, that doubt, that anger, that fear are all divine messengers showing you where you have disconnected yourself from the pure God self, from the fifth element, from the center of your being, from the heart of creation itself. Do not judge yourselves. You have spent lifetimes doing this. And look what it has created in your world. Havoc, disease, destruction, war. You have all needed that experience, but now it's time to cease it. Stop being destructive gods coming from your mind of fear and separation. Surrender to your hearts and become creator gods. Create from that platform and you will change this world. Now we are here to assist you in any way possible, so we are opening the floor to questions. Any questions? Everybody is good, are they? Everybody is creating from their hearts, are they? This is interesting. Yes, dear one. Omar.
I have so many questions for you, and it's not funny, but I'll limit it to a couple.
All right.
I find it interesting how you mention, and it's gone from me now, but anyway, the light coming into a normal sort of creation in our everyday occurrence.
Yes.
And I was wondering if that was what was happening with me with my vision, because basically every day my vision, and right now it's pixelated and as if I've got snow vision.
All right, very good.
And I was just wanting further understanding of that, I suppose. And
all right, this is a very good question, because as we said, the light we are speaking of cannot be seen in your physical realm. But you have been created from this non-physical light, this pure consciousness, into physicality. So when we look at you, dear one, we see this pure consciousness around you, perhaps what you would term 8 foot out from you. And what is happening when you have come into this dimension, you will start to see the pixelations of light beginning to start to take form. You understand what we are saying? Because you are not, as we look out here, you are still not vibrating at a certain vibration to bring all of these atoms together into physicality. So it's not unlike a rainbow in the sky. You see a rainbow, but it's actually not.